You ever watch a trailer of something and get super excited and think to yourself, when this comes out, everything in the world has to stop because I have to see this movie or I have to see this show, you know? And you find yourself looking forward to it. You go back and you watch a trailer again. And each time you watch the trailer, it gets that much more compelling to you. Then the moment finally comes. Your long wait is over. After watching the trailer, discussing with friends how good it's going to be, getting excited about a representation that you don't often see in media, and then the show comes, and it's absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. Um, I'm talking about Always a Witch, which is a Netflix original series that just recently dropped. And in all the promos for this show, it's about an Afro Latina who is burned at the stake and then leaps forward in time. This witch. The only problem is she can't. Well, she's not supposed to use magic in the future, which is basically our present day. The story takes place in Cartagena, and it's not very often you see Afro Latinas um, represented as being the protagonist of a show, and then you throw in witches. I was in. I was in deeply. Then it turns out that the greatest um, motivation for this witch is her lover, Cristobal. Now, what could be wrong with that? What is wrong with having love as a motivation? How about if your love interest literally owns you? What if he bought you on an auction block, thereby granting him the power of life and death over you, and somehow this gorgeous slave woman is in love with her master? You know what? Fuck off. Fuck right off. And I think the thing that pisses me off the most is that it's a complete and utter bait and switch. They set this out like it was going to be black positive, and we were going to have an Afro Latina protagonist that we could root for and cheer for, and just it was going to be amazing. But what did we find? A black woman leaping through all the hoops to save the life of her white master lover. Fuck off. And if that were not enough, do you know when they released this shit? They released it on February 1st. And for those of you who aren't in the know, February 1st is the start of Black History Month. So Netflix gifted black people for Black History Month a television show in which we fall in love with our masters and risk our lives to save them. Yippee-ki-yay. I don't remember the last time I've been this angry. We don't need a celebration of slavery. We don't need a celebration of the so-called romances that happened. It's always white people who want to romanticize the slave trade and say, oh, they were just some couples who just loved each other in spite of everything. You know what love takes, though? Love takes equality between two human beings. Love takes having the ability to say no and the ability to say yes. If she cannot say no to any of his advances, then she cannot, by virtue of not having the ability to say no, say yes. There can be nothing consensual. And if there can be nothing consensual, how the fuck can you have love? But this yarn about, these epic romances in the slave cabins have captured white imaginations for generations. And what it is, it's the product of the systematic rape of black women in slavery. That's what the fuck it is. It's romanticizing generations of rape for white comfort, to try to spin that the horrible institution, the dehumanizing, evil institution of slavery wasn't as bad as we all believe because, hey, there was fucking love. I know I'm sounding pretty angry at this point, but honestly, I can't help it and I can't hide it. This was an absolute slap in the face to every single black person who turned in hoping for some decent representation and then to start it on February 1st. February 1st. Like, the audacity of this bullshit. It almost belies words at this point. I don't know how I'm going to make it through the rest of this series without cursing. In fact, I'm fairly certain that all of the reviews of this show is going to be filled with nothing but solid curse words at this point. I don't think it deserves anything like that, anything more than that. I don't think it deserves any kind of serious consideration. Never, ever will I accept some white colonial vision of what slavery was, and never, ever will I accept the systematic rape of black women as somehow romantic. Fuck Netflix.